Artists, this presentation explores a really beautiful art form from the Middle Ages. It is the art of illuminations or illuminated letters. Let's learn about them. An illumination is a decoration, an ornamental piece of a written manuscript page. If you look to the image at the right, you'll see that there is a big letter and there are some decorative elements. There is a monk in the B and all sorts of features. You may have seen these in the beginning of a Bible or a storybook or fairy tale. Illuminations got their name from the word illuminate, which means to fill with light. What creates the sense of light in this illumination? If you guessed gold, you're right. Artists applied gold leaf to the decorative letters on manuscript pages. The gold would reflect light and make the page look as if it were glowing. In an illuminated manuscript, it's typically just the first letter of a page or paragraph that has all of those decorative elements. Typically, the rest of the text was just copied in plain black ink. Those images often incorporated plants, animals, and mythological creatures. These things interacted with the letter, entwining around its shape or made to form the shape of the letter itself. And you can see in the image vines and plants growing around that letter P. Now you have to remember that during this time, there was no such thing as a copier or a printer. In fact, Gutenberg's printing press had not even been invented yet. That was in the Renaissance. This is before that time. And so books were made by monks typically. And they were the ones who created these writings and also added the illuminations. Monarchs and church leaders often wanted, just like us, to document what was happening. And so these books and illuminations recorded the important moments of their history. These illuminations, though, can actually be traced back even to Egyptian times. If you think about it, the first written languages were called hieroglyphs and had these written in pictorial or picture elements. Now, to create an illumination, 3 separate jobs were needed. The parchmenter, you'll find out why, the scribe, and the one that I think sounds the most like an art superhero, the illuminator. Now, the parchmenter really did what I would consider the dirty work. The parchmenter prepared the drawing and writing surface. Now, if you're thinking they prepared paper, you're right. But what you may not realize is that that paper was made from dried animal skins. So what you see in the frame in this image is a big piece of skin stretched out into the sunlight and then burnished or polished with this circular tool until the surface was smooth and could be cut into paper-sized or book-sized pages. Now, the scribe you have probably heard of before, especially in your study of medieval times and history. This individual, usually men, copied text onto each page. They used pens made from feathers and a homemade ink too, that was created from egg whites, ash, and plant material. And if you can imagine just the amount of focus and detail to copy one text into another text was a very tedious job. And now we're to the superhero, the illuminator. Those folks created the ornamental or decorative element that we saw on those earlier slides. They would likely have sketched with a pen, kind of gotten the basic form, and then applied paint and gold leaf to the image. These jobs took tremendous skill and craftsmanship, and even the ability to read and write, which was uncommon for that time. For these reasons, illuminated manuscripts were very much admired at that time and still appreciated as a beautiful art form today. Where have you seen illuminated manuscripts? Let's talk about that and the project that we are going to be doing inspired by illuminated initials.